Hello everyone, today I want to take you to an important case in the Austrian law of contract, and the case of Commonwealth Bank versus Aman Aviation, where there is a breach of contract and the remedies as well. Aman Aviation in the case is in contract with Commonwealth Bank for 3 years, and the contract is to accomplish 11 airplanes by 12th of September 1991, but unfortunately it defaults in its promise and asks for 2 more months with Commonwealth Bank for structural modifications and to increase the fleet of the contract. On the other hand, Commonwealth Bank it tries to terminate the contract and notices Aman Aviation to show the reasons why the contracts will not be cancelled. This particular act of trying to terminate the contract, which has not been earlier stated in the contract, leads to the breach of contract in the above case, and the case is then led to the Federal Court of Australia, and the Federal Court of Australia decides in favor of Aman Aviation and orders Commonwealth Bank to compensate for the damages of $410,000 and 1.5 of the Aman Aviation cost on the project. And being dissatisfied with the verdict of the Federal Court, the case is then led to the High Court of Australia, and even the High Court orders in favor of Aman Aviation and orders Commonwealth Bank to compensate for the loss of damage of $6,600,000, 207, and 90% of the cost incurred by Aman Aviation on the project, excluding the cross-section cost in the project. And the issue here is about the breach of contract by the two parties, where Commonwealth Bank breaches the contract by trying to terminate it, and Aman Aviation also at the same time does not finish its promise, does not finish the contract on the time. And there is also another party who comes in picture with the Commonwealth Bank, and it's the Skywest Airlines Private Limited, who had a contract with Commonwealth Bank for the provisions of aerial surveillance, and it was about to expire, so the Commonwealth Bank had asked for tender and had accepted the tender of Aman Aviation, and were in contract for 3 years. There are several other cases of breach of contract, and the remedies so stated. These cases can be of Robinson versus Herman cases, and we also have cases of Albert and Sons versus Armstrong Rubber Company, which also explains the breaches of contract and the remedies where plaintiff is being entitled to claim for the vested expenditure. And also in the case of Commonwealth Bank versus Aman Aviation, Aman Aviation is able to claim for the damages of vested expenditures. Generally speaking, monetary expenditures, generally speaking, monetary compensation is one of the basic common law remedy for a breach of any kind of contract. And so here, even in this case, the trial judges has assesses the damages on the basis of the lost profits, and the High Courts has also assessed the cause and provides Aman Aviation to either to terminate the contract and sue for the damages. And the High Court makes this decision on certain propositions, and the propositions are like the plaintiff is compensated for the loss of the benefits, and it is not possible to evaluate the expected loss. The plaintiff can seek for vested expenditures. And so in the above case, the High Court held the respondent was entitled to recover the amount it had in preparing to perform the contract, and also at the same time it was impossible in the above case to evaluate and determine to what extent to what extent the performance of the contract would result in profits for the plaintiff. Thus the plaintiff in this case is in a good condition to obtain a renewal of the contract for coastal surveillance for a future period of time. Well, this is all about the case of Commonwealth Bank versus Aman Aviation, and using the IRAC method, that is issues, relevance, applications, and conclusions with its remedies. If you want to know more about it, you can visit the website www.austii.edu.au.